everyone, welcome back. It's been about 5 months since I last put together an episode. I'm looking forward to getting you up to speed on what I've been up to. There's been a new layout lighting project that I just completed, and I added some new rolling stock and a locomotive to the ECR fleet that was picked up over the summer. Let's show you the new layout lighting system first, and then I'll quickly review the newer products that were added to the collection. It would be an understatement if I said that adding layout lighting was as easy as a snap of a finger. Spanning a few months, my dad and I went ahead and built a full LED lighting setup that would span the entire layout, simulating daylight as well as dusk. The approach was to use LED strips composed of pure white 5630 LEDs powered off a computer power supply, utilizing the 12-volt outputs to provide a balanced amount of power throughout the length of the strands. I had done some research regarding Kelvin ratings, and I had hopes of targeting a range between 5500 to 6500 Kelvin to simulate daylight. We used 1-inch thick white finishing trims as a base of installation for the LED strips. Our first task was to determine where we should install the wood bracing over the layout. The challenge we had was locating the wood studs in the ceiling to ensure that we would anchor the wood strips properly. The white finishing trims would eventually be installed into the ceiling with wood screws. Each of the LED strands were rolled out and applied to each white trim using 3M two-sided tape, ensuring a strong bond. The two positive and negative wire ends were soldered from 4 lines into a dual 16-gauge set of wires that would run into the power supply. Another LED strip was also installed just behind the daylight LEDs, and that strand produces a blue neon color, helping simulate a dusk or night scene. Here's a few side-by-side comparison images to see the difference in lighting from a before and after perspective. As time-consuming as this project was, it cost less than $100 in materials, including the LEDs. eBay and Amazon were a premium choice for many of the items, the most expensive being the computer power supply, which was $54 brand new at Canada Computers. I'm pretty happy with the results. I also learned a lot along the way, and I know what to do and not do if I build something similar again. Ideally, I would recommend doing this type of installation before your layout's in place. This was more of a retrofit for us, and it was nerve-wracking hanging over the layout the way we did. Luckily, there was zero damage in the process and we were extra careful. I really need to get moving on installing a proper backdrop next, and that will definitely complete the scene. Adding to the ECR collection from Rapido Trains, a second production run of the 52-foot mill gondolas, featuring a re-release of first production schemes and new schemes in Ontario Northland. The Ontario Northland schemes have been rather popular since this is the only other run produced since the Proto-2000 days. The trucks and wheel sets have apparently been updated from the first production run and are quoted as correct era specific trucks and wheel sets. This particular car is painted in the Ontario Northland chevron scheme. The markings and the lettering on the car are crisp, and the yellow chevrons do appear to have a raised embossed edge. I also noticed small blobs of excess paint on a few of the grab irons as well. Normally I'm not one to criticize, however with this model I feel there are a few manufacturing issues that should be brought to light. I've inspected 2 gondolas to compare. The gondola sides are pretty warped and are separated from the floor. You can see the amount of light bleeding through along the edges. The sides are far from straight. From an operating standpoint, falling short are the couplers and coupler boxes. On both gondolas, they fail to conform to proper coupler height standards. Upon inspection, the coupler boxes appeared to have plate covers that were jammed into the fittings, and the copper tension boxes were installed upside down. The screws were also over-tightened, making for a difficult removal. I'm a little surprised at the amount of issues that these gondolas presented. With a price point on average of $50 Canadian, I would expect a little more from Rapido in terms of quality control. My hope is that future 2019 and 2020 product releases from Rapido won't have similar issues. Additional details that can be applied to these gondolas are cap covers. Often, these 52-foot gondolas would commonly have covers to protect certain loads. A few years back, Highball Graphics had these caps for sale that would fit Proto 2000 gondolas. They seem to also fit Rapido gondolas as well. They might need a little trimming, however. It looks like these gondolas are hitting the ECR shops for some adjustments, and then they'll be ready for service. And it's to be noted that these are my own opinions and should have no reflection on any dealer, hobby shop, or manufacturer. Another item from Rapido, a new Canadian Pacific FP7 locomotive. It's no secret that I have a fascination with CP locomotives, especially when they're F units. With relevance to Toronto operations in the early 1980s, 4063 was an ideal number to have on the roster. This unit has 8-inch stripes as well as ditch lights and is equipped with the latest Locksound version 5 decoder. This is Rapido's third production run for F units. There were a number of other new schemes produced as well, including Ontario Northland and Montreal commuter units. As mentioned, these locomotives have the Locksound V5 decoder, which has the option to customize all the sounds in the locomotive. I actually did a complete customization of this locomotive sound-wise. I put together an in-depth video of the project, which you can link to in the description or at the end of this video. In terms of the locomotive overall cosmetic appearance, I'm rather pleased with the quality on these and the crisp details. The side step lighting has been dimmed and there's no light bleed on any of the number boards or class lights. The motor and the couplers, however, needed some adjusting. Straight out of the box, the motor appeared to jerk ahead under slow speed operation. Using the lock programmer, I utilized CV54 to help correct any low speed choppiness. It took me days, however, to get this motor to operate smoothly, attempting to fine-tune the speed curve and to adjust the driving characteristics. The couplers needed some spacing adjustment as they didn't conform to proper height standards. I added a KD fiber washer under the coupler box, which leveled the box and coupler. I also recommend packing extra patience to anyone who plans on making similar adjustments. There is an awful lot of piping and underbody detail in the way when trying to remove the coupler box. As the summer is slowly winding down, I'm hoping to really make a push this fall to continue the build and to start running trains on the expansion. There's still a lot of work ahead. Before I go, I wanted to also mention the Etobicoke Central Railway's Instagram profile. I want to thank everyone for following along. The reception has been great this year. I try and post frequently. It's become my weekly blog of sorts, posting about the layout, trains, and projects that I'm working on. Even if you don't have Instagram, you can always visit instagram.com/Etobicoke Central Railways for the very latest. I really appreciate all the support from the train community. I hope you enjoyed the update. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, and don't forget to click the bell for instant notifications when I release a new video. And I'm looking forward to your comments as well. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time.